As for me, there's only one question. Where to go next?
Hello there, my loyal subjects, and welcome back to this channel. Well, I expect you've already worked out where we're going next because, well, you've already seen the title of this video. That's right, we're off to Canada. So, grab your hockey skate and grab your oversized comedy bottle of maple syrup and come with me, or else I'll give you something to cry about. That was rubbish! Alright, maybe that one does need a bit of work. Anyway, play the intro.
Once again, we're off on another globe-trotting adventure. Our destination this time, the western side of Canada. A journey that will take us from the coast and into the Rocky Mountains. On the journey, we'll encounter stunning scenery, sample the local food and drink, try out various exciting activities, come face to face with some amazing wildlife, and learn about the indigenous peoples of this country. All while spending more good quality time with an all-new group of fellow travellers.
So, sit back, relax, and most importantly of all, watch out for bears.
Let's look at the route. We begin in Vancouver, British Columbia, on Canada's west coast. From there, we head north to the mountain town of Whistler. Then, it's a long drive east to Kelowna on the shores of Lake Okanagan, Canada's wine country. Next, we go deeper into the Rockies, stopping in the small town of Revelstoke. We then cross into Alberta, taking a look at Lake Louise, before moving on to Banff. And finally, from Banff, it's just a short drive to our journey's end in Calgary. So that's Vancouver to Calgary, a journey of just over 700 miles. Shall we get started?
Well, here we are in Vancouver. I've just checked into my hotel. It's just coming up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, local time. I've been on the go for about 16 and a half hours. So yeah, so this is day 0 of the trip. Looking forward to it. Right, I've had some sleep. I'm feeling about 1,000% better than I did yesterday, so I think it's time to go and explore Vancouver.
Before meeting my travel companions, I had some time to myself, so I started my tour of the city, a short walk from my hotel, down at the water's edge.
This is Sunset Beach on the shores of the False Creek. Out there, you've got English Bay. Beyond that, Vancouver Island. And beyond that, the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean.
Apart from the spectacular views, the standout feature here is the giant Inukshuk, a traditional Inuit structure symbolising guidance, community, and resilience. From English Bay, I took a trip to the city centre. And what better way to get there than take the aquabus? Once there, I had a look at Science World, because I am still quite the science nerd, and part of me still misses some of those old school trips. Just next door to Science World is this monster of a stadium.
This is BC Place. It's going to be one of the stadiums used in the 2026 World Cup.
It's also home to the Vancouver Whitecaps FC and the BC Lions CFL team. A short walk from BC Place is Gastown, with its famous steam-powered clock, which was apparently closed for maintenance, although someone obviously didn't tell that to the last person who filled it up with water.
I feel like the one with the
Just next door to Gastown is the Port of Vancouver, the place to come if you like to watch spectacularly large cruise ships. After the port and a spot of lunch, It was a gentle walk round the coastline of Vancouver Harbour until I arrived at this place.
And this is the Lost Lagoon. Found it.
The lagoon was a very peaceful and relaxing place, with an unusually large population of geese. It made for a nice change of pace in the midst of a lively, vibrant city. As time pushed further into the afternoon, I decided to head back to my hotel and turn the camera off for the day. Later that evening, I would meet up with my fellow travellers, and tomorrow the tour would officially begin.
Right, day 2. We're about to leave to drive north to Whistler. I met my travel guide and the rest of the group last night. They seem like a really nice group of people. Very chatty, very warm. So yeah, looking forward to today. We're going to hit the road.
Before we hit the road for real, however, we stopped by at Stanley Park to have a quick look at the First Nation totem poles and to take one last look at the city. Leaving Vancouver behind us, we headed north on Canada's Route 99, with the occasional stop to break the monotony of driving.
Okay, we've just stopped briefly to have a look at Shannon Falls. There they are.
Eventually, we arrived at our next stop. The town of Whistler was one of the venues for the 2010 Winter Olympics, and walking around, you can certainly see how the place has been redeveloped for that purpose, and presumably for tourists who like their outdoor pursuits. I was hoping to try some whitewater rafting while I was here. Next up, we had a tour of the Lilwat Squamish Cultural Centre to learn about the area's indigenous cultures. And our museum guide, a local descendant who called himself Bill, showed us around the place, but not before treating us to this performance. Thanks, Bill, that was amazing. You don't get that at the Gloucester Waterways Museum.
So come on into our theatre and we'll show you our
With some time on our hands, we had a stroll around the Lost Lake, a chance to take in some beautiful scenery and get to know each other a bit more as a group. Back at the hotel later that day, I got some bad news.
Okay, we've just checked into our hotel in Whistler. Had some bad news earlier when I found out that I wouldn't be able to do whitewater rafting tomorrow. There are no slots available, so
That's a shame, but you can always do something else. Morning, day 3. So, last night we went out for a very nice Mexican meal, followed by some cow's ice cream. That was very, very delicious. But more importantly, came up with an alternative activity for today because we're not able to do whitewater rafting. So instead, some of us are going on an ATV ride, which what we call quad biking. So looking forward to that. Should be able to get some nice, exciting GoPro footage of that. So yeah, let's do this.
While the other members of the group went off to ride cable cars, zip lines, or play some golf, a few of us journeyed into the mountains to try, well, this. While it wasn't quite the same as riding an inflatable boat along a wild river, it was still huge fun. And I'm glad I was able to get some use out of this GoPro and body harness that I brought along with me.
Well, we've just completed the ATV tour. This is Ash, one of my fellow travellers. What do you reckon of that? Was that good?
It's great.
Was that fun?
I'm
was
so
amazing.
happy I went.
We didn't see any bears though, did we?
You couldn't see anything.
No, that's true.
It's dust.
Just dust everywhere. Dust everywhere. Anyway, that was amazing. Can highly recommend.
Absolutely.
And then Mount Callahan. Right,
Later
yeah,
on,
that is
we all met up before dinner to do the most Canadian thing ever: drink beer and watch ice hockey in the pub. Sadly, it didn't end well for the Canadian team. If you don't want to know the score, please look away now.
Day 4. We're here in Whistler and the weather appears to have changed. It looks a bit damp out there. So today we're going to drive to Kelowna. It's going to take about 5 hours. Fun.
This is the part of the trip I was looking forward to the least. The long drive from Whistler to Kelowna. The journey would go on for hour after hour, mile after mile, with only the occasional stop for refreshment or bodily functions. But eventually, we rolled into Kelowna on the shores of Lake Okanagan.
We've recently just arrived in Kelowna, a journey which should have taken 5 hours. It actually took about 9. But we're here now, and I've just had a shave and a wash, so feeling a bit better, and we're about to go out to dinner.
This place was actually a real pleasant surprise. It was like a quiet and pretty seaside town, without being anywhere near the sea, of course. Although, as you can probably tell, I was in no mood to enjoy it that evening, since I was still feeling tired and grumpy from the long drive, and the hangover from the previous evening didn't help. So after dinner, I had myself an early night.
Good morning. Day 5. Kelowna. Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way first, shall we? I was not in the best of moods yesterday. I was quite hungover from the night before, having drunk too many beers while watching the hockey. And we spent most of yesterday driving and driving and driving. It was a journey which should have taken about 5 or 6 hours, and it took about 9. So when we got here in the evening, I was not in the best of moods. I was tired and frustrated, and I didn't really have the energy to do all this video stuff. So, but I've had a sleep. I've had about 7 hours of good quality sleep, and so I'm feeling quite good. Today's going to be better.
Oh, and one more thing. It's always nice when your hotel has a balcony, so you can get a nice view. And, well, look at this one.
Look at that. Magnificent beasts.
The Okanagan region is famous in Canada for its vineyards.
So that's where we would go to next, the vibrant vine facility for some wine tasting. I was pleasantly surprised by the range of wines I got to try. I didn't know anything about Canadian wines before this trip, but there were some real good ones that seemed to suit my palate perfectly. I made sure to show my appreciation by buying a couple of bottles, a fruity white and full-bodied red, in case you're interested. After tasting some wine, we moved on to a very picturesque spot a few miles along the shoreline from Kelowna for a delicious picnic prepared by our guide. After lunch, we settled in for another long drive to our next stop. But at least this time, we got to stop at a few interesting places. This old log store for one, with what looked like the world's largest collection of plastic animals, that gave me a chance to rip off this line from Jurassic Park.
Clever girl.
And the last spike, a place on the Canadian Transcontinental Railroad, where the two lines from the Pacific side and the Atlantic side met each other in 1885. But eventually, we arrived at our next stop, this small mountain town that comprised of a hotel, a gas station, and an old school that had been converted into a restaurant. Hello there. Well, we've just arrived in Revelstoke. It's been a pretty good day actually so far. We've done quite a lot of driving, but we've broken it up with some interesting activities. We had the wine tasting, that was very good. The picnic on the beach, that was very nice. And we've stopped at a few other places en route as well. And I feel like the mood of the group is pretty good at the moment, or that could just be me, because I've been drinking lots of sugary drinks. We'll be going out to dinner soon, but yeah, we've checked into this hotel, which is a little bit more basic than some of the other ones we've stayed at so far. It's a bit like the sort of place that you get in films when a young couple are on the run from the law, but it'll do for now. So tomorrow we're going on to Lake Louise and then on to Banff, so very much looking forward to that. It would only be a short overnight stop, and from this point on, the landscape and the weather would change drastically. More mountains and a lot more rain. Right, day 6. We're in Revelstoke and we're about to move on to Alberta to go to Banff. We've been informed that the weather is about to get a lot worse. A lot of rain, apparently. So all activities that we had planned, well, they may not happen. They're in jeopardy. So we'll carry on and we'll see what happens. Today's drive would take us to Banff, with a few stops along the way, one of which was Lake Louise, which had been touted as one of the sightseeing highlights of this journey. However, when we arrived, it wasn't quite the welcoming experience we had hoped for. And surprisingly, most of us weren't up for the 3-hour hike around the lake. So after a few more stops for photos and video footage,
This is Canadian Rocky Mountain weather.
we arrived in Banff, absolutely drenched and desperately in need of a warm hotel room and dry clothes. Okay, so we're here in Banff. As was mentioned earlier this morning, the main story of the day is the weather. Because yes, it did change, it did turn for the worse. We were at Lake Louise today and it was a complete washout. We were due to go for a 3-hour hike around the lake. But
This is Lake Louise, and well, beautiful, amazing. But it is raining as well.
and we decided, no, we're not going to do this. We just went back to the minibus. And then we eventually came here to our hotel, and it's still raining at the moment, and it's due to continue raining all the way through tomorrow. And we've got our horse riding planned for tomorrow, and if it's anything like it was raining today, that's not going to be pleasant. So here's hoping it gets a little bit better.
Right, day 7. This is the biggest challenge yet. Horseback riding. These are wild, foul-tempered beasts, and it's going to take someone of steely determination and guts to tame them and bring them to heel. It's gripped, it's sorted. Let's ride.
Too dramatic? Yeah, probably. Still, it was a very pleasant ride, despite the rain and my horse occasionally trying to bite the head off the one behind me. I was feeling quite pleased with myself that I was able to tame such a wild, foul-tempered beast. For an hour, at least. After changing out of our wet clothes and a bit of lunch, we hit the road for our final stop, Calgary, where maybe, just maybe, it would stop raining.
So here we are in Calgary. We've arrived. This is our last stop on the trip, and we've checked into the hotel. It's a pretty normal hotel room really, except this one has a little something extra, because if we look out here, we have a swimming pool. I'll have a dip in there at some point, but maybe not today because the weather's a little bit too Canadian.
This was to be our last night together as a group, so I made sure to take my camera out to our final dinner to give everyone a chance to say cheers and farewell.
Cheers.
Right, day 8, Calgary. The group tour has officially come to an end, and a lot of my fellow travellers have left. They left early this morning. We had a very nice dinner last night and said our farewells. They're a really nice group of people, really were. And they've left me to explore the city. I've got a day in Calgary. I'm leaving tomorrow evening. So yeah, let's go out and see what's out there.
With some free time, I had a few items on my sightseeing list. The tram network, the Calgary Tower,
See that? We're going up that.
Calgary Zoo, the public library with its striking modern architecture, Prince's Island Park, and the Peace Bridge. All of which made me feel glad that I chose to stay an extra night in town.
Well, this is it, day 9. This is my final day in Canada. There's not much for me to do now except check out of this hotel and fly home. So, on reflection, it's been one hell of an amazing trip. I've absolutely loved it. It's been great to be part of this travel group. It's certainly been more fun than it would have been traveling alone. And the country of Canada has been fantastic, amazing, beautiful, from the coast to the mountains, the lakes, rivers, waterfalls, forests. It's all been just so beautiful. And the Canadian people have been really nice too. They've been really warm, really friendly, really inviting, and they've got a slight twinkle in their eye as well, which you don't always find with Americans. I've been to America a few times, but yeah, Canadians really want you to feel warm and welcome in their country, and there's that slight cheekiness to them, which as a Brit, I really appreciate. Other thoughts? Well, with regards to regrets of the trip, I do regret not being able to do the whitewater rafting. I was really looking forward to that before I came out here. And also, I think if we'd gone to Lake Louise and it wasn't bucketing down with rain, that would have been nice too, because it looks like an amazingly beautiful place. It's just a shame that we didn't get to spend so much time there because we were running for shelter. So on reflection, it's been, yeah, one hell of an amazing trip, and I can highly recommend Canada to anyone. So yeah, on that note, on that bombshell, it's back to the studio. No, I didn't. No, look, I did not get this t-shirt from Tom Scott, all right? I've got to go.
Oh, come on, man. You've got one job to do.
Will you just be quiet? You think you're so funny just because you're staging a pretend argument with yourself? Oh, give that man a Perrier award.
Thanks.
Well, all joking aside, I hope you've enjoyed this travel video. If you like this one and you're interested in others, then please check out my videos on Japan and Peru. And until we meet again, good night and good luck.